People's Kid, how we doing? It's your boy Kobe back with another video. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. Today I have a great video for you guys talking about the 5 best active streaks in the NBA. Now the All-Star break is over as well as the trade deadline, so I thought I might as well make a video talking about the 5 best streaks that are currently going on in the NBA. Now these streaks are both team performances and individual performances. I think you guys are going to be surprised by at least a couple of these streaks. I think they're very interesting to think about in terms of how long they've been going on for, and now that they're still active, it'd be cool to kind of watch for them as the NBA season continues. I hope you guys enjoy the video. Without further ado, let's get into it. Number 5, Isiah Thomas 20-point consecutive game streak. At this point in the season, it's pretty clear Isiah Thomas has established himself as one of the best point guards in the NBA. Having been named an All-Star for the 2nd consecutive year, Isiah has been the catalyst in leading the Boston Celtics to the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. Now, I've watched enough of Isiah Thomas where I can tell you he's easily one of the best scoring guards in the league from his wide range of offensive versatility, but I really didn't realize the absolutely ridiculous numbers he has been posting nightly. You see, after getting past the fact that Isiah stands at a mere 5'9", you see that he's producing at an offensive level right now akin to a prime Allen Iverson or even a younger Carmelo Anthony. Up to this point in the season, Thomas is averaging an astounding 29.9 points per game to go along with 6.3 assists on great percentages of 46.7 and 38.7 from 3. Not only this, Thomas boasts a 27.69 player efficiency rating, putting him 3rd in the entire NBA behind only Russell Westbrook and San Antonio Spurs' Kawhi Leonard. But beyond all the accomplishments the kid from Tacoma, Washington is putting up at the moment, there lies a streak that nicely sums up his scoring domination this year.
Portis not able to convert. Thomas on the move. Puts the speed on. Thomas scores! Isiah Thomas with another 20-point game.
That's right, 41 consecutive games and counting for Isiah Thomas, in which he has scored 20 plus points this season for the Boston Celtics. And I'm not exactly sure when we're going to see it end. Having already broken the Boston Celtics franchise record for consecutive 20 plus point games, formerly held by the great John Havlicek, Thomas is poised to also challenge the team record for most 20-point games in a season at 76, held by Havlicek as well. Of course, for the die-hard NBA viewers, some might remember Kevin Durant had a 20 plus points consecutive game streak end earlier this season at 72, the 4th highest streak of this kind in league history. And while that was an amazing achievement considering the only players that have surpassed him are NBA legends Oscar Robertson and Wilt Chamberlain, the way that Isiah is reaching the 20-point benchmark every night has arguably been more entertaining as a result of the way he turns up the dial in the 4th quarter. Many players have been given the nickname Mr. 4th Quarter, and although guys like Kyrie Irving are always worthy of the title, Thomas has literally been Mr. 4th Quarter for the Celtics this year. Among all other NBA players, Isiah posts an absurd 10.7 points per 4th quarter, a full point ahead of the number 2 player. Late game scoring is always at a premium when you consider any NBA team, let alone a team looking to challenge the Cavs for the Eastern Conference title this upcoming spring. So when you consider the manner in which Isiah is accomplishing this streak, it is a no-brainer as one of the best current streaks in the NBA. Number 4, Tristan Thompson's consecutive games played streak. The good old Iron Man streak. For a list of current streaks, this is one that simply cannot be skipped. For those who know Tristan Thompson as the anchor for the Cleveland Cavaliers who provides the elite offensive rebounding for LeBron James, he's also the NBA's leading man when it comes to consecutive games played. As of games played prior to the All-Star break, Thompson has played in 425 straight games, a number that started in his rookie season of February 2012. I always appreciate the Iron Man streak because it combines all the elements of grit, toughness, and quite honestly, good luck. Guys like Cal Ripken Jr. and Brett Favre didn't just earn their respect from fans and teammates for their incredible play while they were on the field, but also for their level of commitment to the game that they played for almost 2 decades straight without a single day off. That is simply insane. So while Thompson at age 26 has been quite fortunate to avoid serious injury, he's also battled some close calls where he thought his streak might have ended. This season, in a home game against the Phoenix Suns on January 19th, Thompson had to briefly exit the game for a dislocated finger after getting it caught in Tyson Chandler's jersey. Although some players often pretend they have no thoughts of the current streaks they hold or records they surpass, Tristan did not hesitate in admitting to reporters his excitement that the streak would survive.
Does the streak run through your head in that moment? Do you wonder if it's in jeopardy at that moment when your finger's pointing the wrong way?
Once he told me that it was just dislocated, I was like, okay, the streak's still alive.
Yet for all his excitement in prolonging the streak, it is also the case Thompson has a very long way to go before getting to the current NBA record holder. Former Los Angeles Laker forward AC Green is the man to beat with with an impressive 1,192 straight games played between the seasons of 1986 all the way to the year 2001. Ironically enough, Green was also a player similar to the role of Tristan for Magic Johnson's Lakers, as Thompson is now for the Cavs. Granted, Green was a superior threat scoring the rock as he possessed a solid jumper. They both earned their money as players who are the de facto main rebounders for their respective teams. Also, if Tristan does surpass AC Green, and that's a big if as of now, there could be some controversy as to whether or not Tristan's streak should be considered legitimate. In the Cavs' final regular season game of last year against the Detroit Pistons, Tristan started the game and immediately fouled Steve Blake only 4 seconds into the first quarter. With 11 minutes and 56 seconds remaining in the first quarter, Tristan's night was done and the streak continued. Now, while I personally think this is a bit cheap, I can't really blame him for not wanting a meaningless regular season game to jeopardize his streak. At the same time, if he does end up getting the record, and like I said earlier, it is still quite a long shot at this point, it will definitely be a gray mark on the streak. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about this one. Number 3, San Antonio Spurs consecutive playoff streak. In my opinion, the San Antonio Spurs are the best run team in professional sports. Now, before Boston fans go crazy and point out their 5 Super Bowl rings over the last 15 years, recognize that is the system and philosophy in which the Spurs are run that separate them from the pack. Unlike Warriors owner Joe Lacob, who arrogantly declared Golden State as light years ahead of every other team in the NBA, Spurs management, alongside head coach Greg Popovich, have accomplished prolonged success in a changing and evolving NBA for almost 2 decades. Since the pairing of Tim Duncan and David Robinson as the two faces of the Spurs organization in the late 1990s, the Spurs have done everything right in adjusting their teams alongside versatile players who are able to excel at their overall offensive and defensive system. In doing so, they are currently tied with the Boston Celtics for 3rd on the overall consecutive playoff appearances with 19, and could quite possibly take the record in 2 short seasons by overtaking the Trailblazers record at 21. Yet if you're not quite convinced that the Spurs are at the top when it comes to model franchises in the sports world, consider the way in which the players develop under the tutelage of Popovich. When taking a look at the sheer number of players that have developed not only into quality players, but also high caliber all-star players, is nothing short of amazing. Remember, for all the success the Spurs have had in the last 19 seasons, it is even more impressive when you consider they haven't been drafting in the top half of the NBA draft for pretty much the entire run. This means that while top prospects that enter the draft that are taken by teams like the Kings and Magic, the Spurs aren't afforded this luxury and must really maximize the talent they pick up by excelling with their later picks. In drafting Tony Parker 28th overall, Manu Ginobili 57th overall, and current MVP candidate Kawhi Leonard 15th overall, the Spurs have proven it is possible to succeed in the NBA without dishing out big money to free agents every year, or tanking to ensure a chance at potential NBA superstars. But it's not even those 3 particular guys that impress me the most with San Antonio's success. It's the other guys that play the supporting roles such as Patty Mills, Jonathan Simmons, Danny Green, and even Boris Dio back in the day that really provide evidence to the Spurs' engine of excellence. Seeing them transform from seemingly marginal NBA players to outstanding pieces alongside the court every year makes you appreciate the Spurs' greatness. So while other NBA teams will fall and rise like they do every season, bet on the Spurs being exactly in the spot they are in now and for many years to come. Number 2, Golden State Warriors consecutive games without back-to-back losses. So, the Golden State Warriors are the NBA's best regular season team for a 3rd consecutive season, and in doing so, they have broken an abundance of NBA team records that I'm sure many of you already know. Of course, getting past the record-breaking 73-win season a year ago, the Warriors currently hold an NBA record that is arguably more impressive than the one they accomplished last April. Since April of 2015, the Warriors have failed to secure a 2-game losing streak. In other words, they've avoided back-to-back losses for an otherworldly 142 straight games. To put that in perspective, the next highest team on the list was the Utah Jazz from 1997 through 1999 at a mere 95 games. Granted, this streak does not include the postseason because, as we all know, the Warriors lost 3 straight games after being up 3-1 going up against the Cavs in the NBA Finals. But for consideration of the NBA regular season alone, this is a streak that is one of the more impressive team feats in NBA history. Taking into account an 82-game season where there are countless back-to-back games scheduled and grueling road trips for every NBA team, the fact that the Warriors have somehow managed to isolate regular season struggles to 1 game at a time at most is astonishing. While it is certainly certainly a testament to the discipline of the entire team in avoiding consecutive losses for such a long period, I think you also have to give credit to the team leaders of the Warriors locker room, who lead the way in instilling the culture of accountability and immediate correction when the team is not firing on all cylinders. Looking at a guy like Draymond Green, who purposely tried to rile up Kevin Durant during a game against the Kings earlier this month, in which the Warriors ultimately lost, it is clear that this is the type of attitude that contributes to the Warriors' 85% winning percentage over the last 2.5 years. And although it's hard to question Golden State's ability to keep the streak going beyond the season, they might see it end if they decide to rest their players towards the end of the season. Last year, Steve Kerr opted to keep regular minutes on Golden State's core players up until the final game of the season in accomplishing the 73-win plateau mark, as Warrior players are already on the record saying they are not gunning for anything but an NBA title this time around. Expect Kerr and the Golden State coaching staff to rest players down the stretch, jeopardizing the longevity of this very impressive streak. Number 1, LeBron James double-digit streak, consecutive final streak, and road playoff win streak. Unsurprisingly, LeBron leads another list for extraordinary basketball accomplishments. And the reason why I think he deserves the top spot is because of not 1, not 2, but 3 consecutive streaks that he currently holds as of right now. Of course, the streak that most fans already know about is LeBron's consecutive finals appearances that he started back in 2011 when the Miami Heat faced the Dallas Mavericks and continued by reaching the NBA Finals last season to make it to 6 straight finals. The only other players in NBA history to accomplish the same feat all played on the Boston Celtics over 50 years ago. Now, I recognize some might argue LeBron plays in the Eastern Conference, which has a much easier path to the finals than the West. But even if we take that into account, is there even one other player in the NBA that would have made it to 6 straight finals in the Eastern Conference? I really don't think there is. And so the main takeaway is something we already know. There is not one other player who means more to his team's success than LeBron, and there is not one other player who guarantees success quite like LeBron. But getting past this current streak that LeBron currently owns, he has 2 more that I think are almost quite as ridiculous in their own right. Since January 5th of 2007, in a game where 22-year-old LeBron scored a measly 8 points, he has gone on to score 10 or more points in 769 consecutive games as of the Cavs' last game prior to the All-Star break. That means for over the last 10 years, each and every game that LeBron has physically been on the court for, he has managed to score at least 10 points. That is just incredible to me, and I think it underscores how much we take LeBron's God-given scoring ability for granted. The only player that has LeBron beat is his airness himself, who held a streak of 866 consecutive games with at least 10 points from the years between 1986 and 2001, where it ended once he was playing on the Wizards. While some may scoff at comparisons made between Jordan and LeBron, there are clear reasons for this, and this is no exception. But finally, the last streak that LeBron currently holds that is worth mentioning is his 26 consecutive playoff series with the road win, which he extended in Game 5 of the 2016 NBA Finals after him and Kyrie single-handedly prolonged the series, while also topping the previous record of 24 consecutive playoff series with the road win by, you guessed it, Michael Jordan. LeBron has pretty much willed his team to road wins time after time to keep this incredible run intact, along with showing his tremendous fortune in finding ways to remain durable to play throughout all of these long streaks. I think it also speaks to how hard it is to really beat LeBron in the playoffs. And what I mean by that is, he's simply not going to let you have any game. If you want to be an NBA champion over LeBron, you're going to have to simply take the game from him in those critical moments, because he will always keep his team right there to the very end by simply outgrinding opponents. Regardless, all of these current streaks seem capable of continuing for a long time, and as NBA fans, it is great to see continued excellence for the overall product of the sport, no matter who you root for. There you guys have it, the 5 best active streaks according to the People's Kid. I think they're all great streaks, and I think what's going to be great about listing them all out is that now we can kind of follow them as the season goes along. I wonder how much longer Isiah Thomas is going to get 20 points every night. I wonder how long Golden State's going to be able to continue not losing a 2-game losing streak, which is just, I think, absurd. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like down below. We're going to be making basketball videos 1 to 2 times a week for the foreseeable future, so definitely put on your notifications because we're going to be dropping really good content for you guys. We really appreciate the support we've been getting from everybody. It's been crazy. We're almost at the 400 subscriber mark, which is a pretty big deal for us. Just really appreciate anybody that's watching your videos, that's liking it, that's not commenting, but we appreciate you guys regardless of whether or not we can see you or we can actively keep in touch with you. Anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoy the weekend, and I will see you guys later.
Yeah.